Hi, thank you for coming to my next video about Warhammer. Warhammer storage for small children. One of the issues that I've had is that my children have got me into Warhammer, so I'm having issues with the storage. And we have gone from the systems like this, using bits of random household things and toilet roll tubes, but there is an issue if you are into Age of Sigmar. You have a lot of people with spikes and spears, and these do not fit in toilet roll holders because they're too wide or too tall. So what do you do? I'm trying to make sure I only speak on camera for anyone who's lip reading. So I did the research, and people said about magnetizing things. So I did my first magnetizing one, and I realized I made a few errors. So I'm going to do this one as a walkthrough to stop anybody else making the same errors that I did. So I bought the magnetic sheeting, the 5mm magnetic sheeting, and I laid it down in the box. So what I did was I love my really useful boxes, and I was like, how can I stick this on? So I've gone for a system where I have used white electrical tape with double-sided tape on the top, and that is actually secure enough. And as you can see, I have a grid here, and the reason I have a grid here is because when you go to get your sheets, now the shiny side sticks really well to the fridge, but when I put my Chaos Demon, as you can see, he's sliding down. When I put him on this, he doesn't. So I want mine this way round. So I know that when I do that, because the other thing you'll notice, which I learned the first time around, is when they then fall over, they then knock into each other, and suddenly 3 models have enough weight to take one model which wasn't moving upside down. So when you do this stuff, test. Now this is not stuck in yet, so I'm about to do that. As you can see, this is one A4 sheet with a small bit, because that's because I knocked it. So yeah, one A4 sheet with a little bit. So let me move this across. So I have my, here's one I prepared earlier. I am a Blue Peter generation. There's my double-sided sticky tape sticking. And as you can see, I've made a little grid. So there is one side where the grid is much closer, and there is the fat side. And so the fat side is so that it will take this, and then the thin side will take the overflow. And if I'm not sure, I can lay these on top of each other, and this is the right way around. So the fat side, and if you remember, I was going shiny down. So I'm just going to line this up. There we go. And as you can see, that's a really nice neat flash. And then I've got my single strip, and again, I've gone for shiny side down. Remember, it won't matter which way round your magnet strip does, as long as you are consistent. This is actually 2 sheets on top of each other, because I cut this 2 sheets high by accident, but I also noticed it actually meant that the one had a much stronger field. So small line, I could live with that, because that wasn't as obvious. My other one doesn't have the line, the gap, but again, it allows me to put the models in. And that one is a bigger one, so it's sliding, but when I tried it with my smaller ones, they didn't move. So you do need to, shall we say, test your wobble factor for when travelling, but I do not travel my models like that. I travel my models like that. And when you join the hobby like Warhammer, you might get odds. You might find that you've bought random bits of magazines. You might get free ones. You might find somebody selling some and you didn't know what you were buying. But this is my first magnets, and as you can see, as I'm tilting it, some of them are falling off. But the reason I'm showing you is because, that's this corner, as you can see, I have a white, with the little magnets, when they come, they have a white right way and a wrong way. Give me a second. So when you get your magnets, there's a right way and a wrong way. As you can see, they don't want to come out. But if you get the right way, they will stick together, and if you go the wrong way, they will push apart. So what I had to do, see they're pushing, go the right way. So what I did was I put a piece of tape down with whichever one I was having as my up, and you can see I can't get it to stick, and that told me which way around. So the top was where I wanted to have underneath the model with the downside down. So I just put little I use Sharpie to put little crosses on them and lay them out. The glue does melt the Sharpie lines, but it helps you as you instantly put it in which is up and which is down. So I could have done it the other way and then my magnet lines would be down, but then if it's under the glue I might still have a line, so I wanted it that way around. Do what works for you. This is just my hack. So, and it might save somebody else because I couldn't find the magnetizing. Anyway, as you can see, some of these have knocked over, either because they've been knocked by the others or because one magnet isn't enough, whereas the whatever their names are, they need two. This, don't worry because I've not to put him down properly. These guys, these are one of the freebie choices. They are the, not the Space Marine, they are the Liberators from the Stormcast Warriors. So that's my Liberator. And if you see, I've got two magnets on him. So he actually holds really well because he's on a bigger base. Smaller ones need one, some need two. I'm still learning if they've got too much sticky out stuff, whether they need two or whether one is enough. I only had 100 magnets, so I was trying to be magnet efficient. But yes, as you can see, sometimes they go better than others. You soon learn about magnet placement and all the rest of it. Ideally you want them as close to the middle as possible, but not so close that when you're magnetizing them they then attract or repel each other when they're on the side, because that makes your fingers go a bit ouchy. Anyway, I hope that's useful for people. Obviously I wouldn't normally have them up this level, but yes, if you have them too close to the edge, if they're next to each other, as you can see they were interacting. But this is it there. This is 1 sheet deep. I think it'd be stronger with 2 sheet deeps. 2 sheet deeps. 2 sheets on top of each other, which gives you a stronger firm. This is because I'm not using metal because I can't find them. I'm also in a situation where we are a 2-house family and we go and visit my mum, which you'll know from the camper van vids, and so I wanted something. We had the really useful drawers, but the problem is with the kids moving them around with the open lids. The other top tip I would say is when you are making a model, check the height. There's a couple of the play drains from the Maggot King where I've had to hack it slightly because it just sticks up by that much, and I can get them in the, so these are the 4 litres, the one piece of ream of paper like you get for packs of paper, 100 sheets. So this is 1 ream, which is the 4 litre. The 2 reams is the 9 litre, and I had to just check that things went in at the top. So it was all tall, and I was like, right, how can I just narrow this down a bit to get it in at the top, because I know if I can make it fit a 9 litre, then it would be much better for me. Again, as always, because apparently I forget to do this, like and subscribe, and comment down below if you've got any questions, and I will try and put another one up. As I said before, I am a single parent working to try and keep a roof over my head, and I try to share videos that I can't find when I'm looking for information. So if there's anything I can help you with, Warhammer is a lot to take on board. Storage is a huge part of it. Looking back, we should go on Space Marines because they're much smaller, or what are these guys, the Cahedron Overlords. So at the moment, what I was going to go for, I can't. But these guys, so much easier to store. Look, they're much more compact. They fit in toilet rolls. But if you go for some of the things where they're much more wispy, like, where are you? The Banshee and the Tomb Raider, they're very tall and thin, not much to them. I found them incredibly learning curve for painting, but they are still bigger than the old good Gondor ones, as opposed to the Space Marine Tyranids, which are extra long, But when you compare them to a Gut Rippers, which is the Crawl Boys ones, which was the last Spearhead one, you can see they take a lot of space and sticky out bits. And some of the storage systems don't allow for that. I did also try the cardboard. Let me give you one. I did also try the cardboard cross-hatching idea, which and the toilet roll holders. The kids have pinched the other ones. And as you can see, I've got gaffer tape on bubble wrap to give a bit of sheltering. I find this is great, and it's fast to pop them in and out, and you don't have to worry about the magnetism, but you can't get as much in the same space. And I'm in well, a lot compared to where I was living before. I'm in tiny living, 2 up, 2 down, and I don't have the space when you think that there are 3 of us having Warhammer models, and all of that takes up space. So I don't have a lot of space. So I need it to be as compact as possible. I can't have it across 3 sets, and then it's also 3 lots of carrying, or I might not be able to do it in one load, which with my health I need as small as possible. So I went for the magnets because, as you would have seen, there were over 50 models in that tray, whereas if you look at this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 25 spaces with the ends. And even with some of the smaller ones, you might be able to put 2 in one. For me, the magnets were the best efficiency of space, and I am aware that I might have to put more magnets on some of them, but it is what it is. The bigger models definitely need at least 2 magnets, and you have to make sure that the magnets are flush with the base. And yes, I've written underneath because I can't remember all the different types here. But you want the magnets flush, because if they're not flush, they're not going to be as strong, which is why I said about the magnets around the edge. I've learned that's about as close as I could get without them pulling each other. But on the other hand, that one's so close to the edge it interferes with another one. So what you kind of really want is across the middle. And again, I couldn't find this information out there. If you disagree with me, please put me down, tell me how I can do it better, and I'll update with another video. This is just my learning curve. This is April 26th. This is the end of April 26th, payday April 26th. But remember Easter bank holiday weekend at the beginning of April this year? That's when I took my kids to the Warhammer thing. We weren't given the best advice, because actually what we wanted was to be able to play the game, and the money we spent meant that we should have gone for maybe like the ultimate set, because we would have had 2 sides and we could have played, and then we could have helped one of the kids get the spearhead set, or we could have got 2 spearhead sets so we can play with each other. Instead we got random ones, which was a bit of a nightmare. So we were then trying to see what we could get to have enough physical characteristics to play a game. So I got quite a few random ones. And then of course you then well, hang on a second, how do we store it? So the hope is that I can do that so that I can make it all fit. And I know where some of the storage they've put the magnetic stuff around the sides as well, so I don't know. And I might cardboard out for some of the big ones so that they go across in the shallow ones, or I'll just put them in the deep and upright. But I can do more videos if you'd like. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for going with my unscripted video for Warhammer storage, as you can see. And I will do the same on this one with a piece of white tape, electrical tape, so I know which is, so that all my magnetism is going the same direction. But these are good. Yeah, it adds a bit of weight, but for me I needed the storage space, and I couldn't find a baking tray or a piece of metal that would fit inside these. They are lighter with 1. The second level definitely adds to the weight. But then on the other hand, I'm going to see if comparing my 1 to my 2, which actually works better. And the advantage is that if I don't want to use the 2, because it's these just stick to each other, I can, she says, just lift it up, second one. So as you can see, shiny side down, shiny side sticks to the fridge. I've put the shiny side down on this one because I found that the way my magnets are, they don't move. Waiting for it to fall, but no. So, and that's what I want. And again, even when you're putting them in as magnets, don't have them too close together. especially if your magnets are on the side, so that if one wobbles a bit, it doesn't then give you a chain reaction, which is what happened with my first efforts of driving 15-20 minutes down the road with all my models in one tray, but I didn't have enough to actually play a battle, which was slightly disappointing. Anyway, tips, tricks, thanks for watching, and hope you found this useful. As always, stay safe.